Lockdowns are supposed to make you feel safe, a way to protect people from danger. But sometimes what's outside the door isn't the only thing to be afraid of. These are 3 true-style lockdown horror stories told from people who lived through them and barely made it out. Story 1. The basement Holly was 17 when our high school went into a real lockdown, not a drill. It happened during 5th period, a warm Friday afternoon in late September. My astronomy class was one of 2 held in the basement, an old storage level they turned into classrooms when the school ran out of space. It was cold down there, dimly lit and completely isolated from the rest of the building. No intercom, no windows, no phone signal. We used to joke that if anything bad ever happened upstairs, we'd never know until it was too late. That day, we were taking a quiz. I finished early and texted my buddy Evan, whose class was across the hall. "Bathroom?" I messaged. He sent a thumbs-up emoji. We met there, messing around, talking quietly, until his phone buzzed again. He frowned. "Dude, my sister texted me, the school's on lockdown." At first, we thought it was just another drill. But when we stepped into the hallway, we realized the entire floor above us was dark. Every light was off. Only faint daylight leaked down the stairwell. Something wasn't right. Evan whispered, "What if this isn't a drill?" Before I could answer, he froze. At the far end of the hallway, someone was standing by the stairwell door. At first, I thought it was a teacher, but the man was barefoot. His shirt was ripped, and his hair was matted like he hadn't bathed in weeks. He started walking toward us, slow, uneven steps. Evan grabbed my arm. "Go!" We ran back into the bathroom and shut the lights. We hid in the far stall, crouched on the toilet, trying to stay silent. Then, the door opened. Footsteps echoed on the tile. 1, 2, 3, then breathing. Deep, raspy, too close. I covered my mouth with my hand, praying he couldn't hear my heartbeat. The stall door rattled, once, then harder, and then came the sound of something metallic clinking against the door handle. I mouthed, "Go!" Evan and I slid under the stalls, crawling across the floor until we reached the other side. The second we stood up, the man lunged from the corner, pale, sunken eyes wide open. We burst through the door and pounded on Evan's classroom door. His teacher yanked it open just in time for us to dive in. She slammed the lock and whispered, "What's going on?" Evan pointed at the window. The man was right there, peering in through the glass. And I swear, there was a small pistol in his hand. He just stared for a few seconds, then walked back toward the stairs. We sat in that room for over an hour until police escorted everyone out. They found nothing. No intruder. No footprints, no forced entry. But 2 days later, the janitor found a discarded backpack in that basement bathroom, filled with old photos, a switchblade, and what looked like a half-empty bottle of pills. After that, they sealed the basement hallway for good. Story 2. The officer's last call. I spent 18 years as a police officer in New Jersey. Of all the calls I responded to, only one still wakes me up at night. It was raining that morning. Dispatch came through with a report. Lockdown in progress at Bay Ridge Middle School. Unknown male on premises. When I arrived, there was a white van parked behind the school near the gym doors. All locked. No driver. I drew my flashlight and entered through the back hallway. The lights had been cut. The school was eerily quiet. Just the hum of the emergency lights and the rain against the roof. Halfway down the gym corridor, a secretary appeared and whispered, "He went into the boys' locker room." I radioed for backup. Inside the locker room, the air was thick, heavy. My flashlight beam cut through the dark, glinting off metal locker doors. Somewhere deeper inside, I heard a faint tapping sound, then something else, like a muffled cry. I called out, "Police! If anyone's in here, speak up." Silence, then a small voice, "Help!" I moved toward the sound and realized it was coming from inside a locker. A kid, maybe 12, was trapped inside. He was pounding from the inside, voice trembling. "He's still here," he whispered. "The man's still here." That's when another locker slammed shut behind me. I spun around. flashlight trembling in my hand. But no one was there. Footsteps echoed near the shower area, then stopped. I radioed again for backup, louder this time. No response. Static. When I turned back to the locker, the kid had stopped banging. "Hey, you still in there?" Yeah, he whimpered. His voice sounded weaker. I used my baton to pry open the locker, and when the door swung open, the boy stumbled out, shaking. With a shallow cut across his arm, he kept whispering. He said he'd take me to his van. I got the kid to the front office, but by the time I ran back outside, the van was gone. The next week, they caught the suspect in a parking lot 5 towns over. He'd been living out of that van for months, pretending to be a maintenance worker to get into schools. Every time I see a white van now, I can still hear that faint tapping, the sound of that kid begging to be let out. Story 3, the hotel lockdown in 2021. I traveled to Pennsylvania for a job interview. The company booked me a room at a cheap chain hotel off the highway. It wasn't great. Old carpets, flickering hallway lights, that faint smell of mildew. But I was too tired to care. Around 9 p.m., I was getting ready for bed when a loud alarm started blaring. A recorded voice came over the speaker. "Attention guests, please remain in your rooms. This is a hotel lockdown." I didn't even know hotels had lockdowns. After about 10 minutes, the alarm stopped, but the white strobe light in the corner kept flashing every few seconds. I figured it was a false alarm and tried to sleep. Then, the phone rang, a woman's voice, calm but urgent. "Sir, this is the front desk. Please listen carefully." "Yeah, what's going on?" I asked. She hesitated before saying, "There's someone in your room. Get out now." For a few seconds, I thought it was a prank. Then I heard it, the faint creak of the closet door. I turned slowly toward it. The sliding wooden door was open just an inch, and through that inch, I could see a sliver of a face. I froze. The door slid shut. I bolted out of the room barefoot. Sprinting down the hallway toward the front desk, the staff immediately locked the lobby doors behind me. They called the police while I watched the security feed. Sure enough, about 20 minutes earlier, a man in a gray hoodie had walked calmly down the hall using a stolen keycard to open my room. He stayed inside. For nearly an hour, when officers went in, they found him hiding behind the curtains, holding a knife. They said he'd been staying in a vacant room on the same floor, breaking into others at night to watch people sleep. I don't remember packing my bags. I just remember driving away, seeing the flashing red and blue lights fade in my rearview mirror. Now, every time I stay at a hotel, I check the closet, twice. Lockdowns are supposed to protect you, but sometimes they just trap you with the wrong person. If you ever find yourself in one, remember to stay quiet, stay calm, and never assume the danger is outside the door.